I want to say this. Okay, you can see first look at drag queen Shia Coley and Marvel's Ironheart. Here's the thing. I don't care what Marvel do. Okay, they can go as woke or as different as they want. They can include whatever characters they want. It's their problem. But what I do want to say is that we get this kind of narrative a lot. Oh my God, it's the toxic incels or the terrible fanboys that's not supporting this all these I don't know, movies or shows. That's why it's failing. That shit is stupid. Who is this catering to? This is the thing. This is why I want to say this. Like I said, I don't care what Marvel wants to do. They could have lead female characters, lesbians, drag queen, whatever. It's all they have the power to do that.
There's no sugarcoating it. Ironheart is being dragged as one of the weakest things Marvel Studios and Disney have ever put out, and that's saying a lot. Sure, people keep talking about the message or some kind of hidden agenda behind the show, but let's put all that aside for a second. The real problem? This show just doesn't hit where it's supposed to. The characters feel flat, almost like they're walking cardboard cutouts. The directing, sloppy, the production looks rushed, and don't even get started on the writing. It's all over the place. The story feels like it's stitched together without any real heart. No pun intended. There's zero depth, and it shows big time. Fans were already calling the first 3 episodes abysmal. And that's not just the hardcore critics. Even longtime Marvel fans are sounding off. If you check out Rotten Tomatoes, critics might be trying to be nice, leaving the score hovering in the low 70s, but the real tea is in the audience score. It's tanked to 59% and slipping closer and closer to the disaster levels of The Acolyte. It's not there yet, but depending on how the next 3 episodes drop in July, it could nosedive even harder. And here's the real kicker. Disney and Marvel gave away their doubts about the show from the start. There were 2 major red flags showing they weren't confident at all in how this was going to play out. First off, Dominique Thorne's been front and center pushing talking points about DEI and LGBTQ rights, all while insisting there's no agenda behind the show, and she just keeps doubling down. But what really raised eyebrows? Marvel and Disney pulled out Robert Downey Jr. to hype up Ironheart. Not just the show, but to boost Riri Williams over Tony Stark himself. Yeah, they actually tried to make it look like she was stepping into his spotlight. That move, total backfire. And now, Dominique's clapping back again at fans, right when Disney and Marvel are already sweating over the bad ratings and weak reviews flooding in. Internally, insiders say the numbers are already worse than expected and the panic is setting in. Meanwhile, Dominique Thorne isn't holding back. After that rough premiere, she lashed out at critics and what she called haters of the series. She said, "I will admit there is this tiresome narrative that has been floating around out there. Not just for Riri Williams, but for the entire roster of our characters in the show that they hold no value to the MCU and contribute nothing to this story. And don't share a valuable message to our audience." I think it's quite the opposite, really. When you take a closer look at someone like Riri Williams, she's highly respected by her peers, more so than Tony Stark was with his peers, and you do see that contrast in the show. There is also way too much focus on the LGBTQ community by the fandom in a negative manner, and it just needs to go away. Phew, that statement didn't calm things down. It just lit the fuse even more. Fans are already divided. And this kind of response isn't exactly pulling people back in. Disney's plan to use Dominique and Downey Jr. to shield the show, it's looking more and more like a flop. She straight up said that for a story like this to grow, and for Riri to really shine with the fans, people need to see the bigger picture. Because according to Dominique, this is the most diverse cast and series Marvel's ever done. Like it or not, she thinks that deserves to be celebrated. But then she throws shade at critics, saying we live in a time where you just can't trust reviews the way you used to. Ouch. She claims the only critics worth listening to are the ones who are reasonable, who supposedly tell it like it is, without pushing a political angle. According to her, a chunk of the Marvel fandom is twisting things through a biased lens, especially when it comes to this show. Dominique even said fans need to stop falling into the exhausting narrative that the project's hiding some kind of secret message. She swears up and down it's not about that. She doubled down, saying Riri is being built to be the bigger person in the story, even bigger than Tony Stark when it comes to values and leadership. She said the whole cast and crew are passionate about where Riri's headed and that this show, at its core, is about diversity and future potential. That statement definitely stirred up some emotions across the fandom. Now, real quick, if you don't want to get hit with spoilers, hit mute for the next 30 seconds because here's the scoop. There's a twist coming. The show's about to reveal a major villain, and it's gonna be Mephisto. That's right. Yep, the devil himself is sliding into the MCU through Ironheart. And that's not the only thing fans are comparing to the Acolyte. People are noticing serious similarities in tone and structure too. So here's the bombshell. Mephisto is coming to Ironheart, and he's being played by none other than Sacha Baron Cohen. Yep, that's right. He's set to show up in the next batch of episodes dropping July 1st. But here's the kicker. This reveal mirrors what the Acolyte did with Darth Plagueis. Same formula, same late-game twist, trying to pull in more fans with a flashy name drop. But let's be real, it didn't work for the Acolyte, and it's looking shaky for Ironheart too. Back then, Darth Plagueis was supposed to be the big moment, but all it did was make things worse. Now they're pulling the same move with Mephisto, and fans are already saying it feels forced. Out of all the Marvel shows, they're dropping a major villain like Mephisto into this storyline. That's a wild gamble. And honestly, it's looking like a fumble. Dominique Thorne didn't stop there. She kept going in interviews, digging deeper into the drama. She said, "I can't stress this enough, but we do unfortunately live in this era where critics are unfair to projects when it involves people of color." According to her, that's just the reality of the game right now. But she's hopeful things will shift. She added that the team behind Ironheart believes the story will eventually speak for itself, and that they've got some major twists coming that'll change the minds of people who are against diversity, equity, and inclusion. She's confident that once all is revealed, critics won't be able to deny the impact the show is trying to make. But at this point, the pressure's on, and fans aren't exactly sold yet. Dominique Thorne's out here asking folks to celebrate what the Ironheart team pulled off, calling it Marvel's most diverse series yet, one that openly champions LGBTQ and trans rights. She's saying it loud. This show marks a huge milestone, and if anyone's got a problem with that, in her words, that's what we need to evolve from as a society. She truly believes this series can push things forward and help change the way people think, not just inside the MCU, but in the fan base too. She's hoping Ironheart can be a step toward better times for everyone watching, a new wave for Marvel fans. But not everyone's on board, and the backlash is getting louder. Now, let's be real. Dominique isn't coming off as extreme or as loud as Rachel Zegler or Amanda Stenberg, who starred in The Acolyte as Osha and May. But people are starting to say she's heading in that same direction. Not quite there yet, but you can see the frustration slipping through more and more. Fans are starting to notice the shift. Dominique's tone toward critics and Marvel fans is changing. She's growing more vocal about the backlash, and it's clear she's feeling the pressure. And let's be honest, the show's problems don't just come down to any agenda. There are real issues people are pointing out, from the shaky writing, flat directing, and weak character development. That's the stuff critics keep circling back to. And when it comes to Riri Williams herself, a lot of viewers are saying the character doesn't come across as someone young audiences would feel inspired by. There's no clear message or role model energy there, and that's where the disconnect is hitting hardest. There's just no spark in this character that would actually make you feel inspired. And that's a big problem. The issues with Ironheart go way deeper than surface level stuff. It's clear they've got a lot to fix, and fast. But here's the thing, those next 3 episodes, don't expect any big turnaround. They're not taking the story anywhere fresh or game-changing. Instead, they're recycling a bunch of old ideas, and not in a clever way. A lot of scenes and plot beats are straight up lifted from previous Marvel movies, and it just doesn't land right. It feels lazy, like they're trying to ride on nostalgia instead of building something new. That's especially true with how much the first 3 episodes lean on Iron Man 3, and not in a tribute sort of way. If you pay attention, you'll notice they've pulled several major elements directly from Iron Man 3. And here's the kicker. Iron Man 3 is widely seen as the weakest link in the whole trilogy, so it's kind of wild that they'd pull so much from that one of all movies. So looking at everything that's gone down, from Mephisto suddenly showing up to the recycled storylines to the tension building behind the scenes, it's clear that Ironheart is in serious trouble. This series just doesn't seem built to hold up, especially with a huge cliffhanger coming in episode 6 that's supposed to shake things up, but might just leave more people confused than hyped. We'll break that down in detail soon, but for now, I really want to hear what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is Ironheart still worth watching, or has Marvel completely missed the mark? If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss future updates. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next one.